Good afternoon, everybody, to our guests and audience. Welcome to our webinar co-organized by the FBC and the FBG and focused on the strategic alliance between the two entities and the creation of a unique CCI France UAE. My name is Nathalie Amiel-Ferraud. I'm the VP of the Executive Board of the French Business Council, Dubai and the Northern Emirates, and for many years a member of the French Business Group. It has been a pleasure for me to lead with the FBC and the FBG teams the strategic alliance and alignment projects during the last few years. And today it is also a pleasure for me to facilitate this session and introduce you to our presenters. So starting with Geoffroy Bunetel, President of the French Business Council since November 2018. Geoffroy is also Chief of Staff to the President of Chalhoub Group, based in Dubai. Eric Cohu has been the President of the French Business Group since July 2019 and is Head of Country and Chief Executive Officer UAE for BNP Paribas. He's based in Abu Dhabi. Also with us today, difficult to present her, but Agnès Lopez-Cruz, Managing Director of the French Business Council since July 2013. She first joined the council in 2008, shortly after her arrival to Dubai. And last but not least, Hélène Daniel, Managing Director of French Business Group since December 2017, when she relocated from Argentina to Abu Dhabi. Before we start with the presentation, I would first like to thank the audience for their presence. Throughout the session, please ask all your questions via the Q&A button provided for this purpose in the comment bar at the bottom of your screen. Please do not use the chat box, use the Q&A button, and also specify whom your question should be directed to. We will do our best to address all of your questions at the end of the session, or alternatively, if we run out of time, we will ensure that these are answered after the session by our speakers. This webinar is extremely important for all of us and for both the FBC and the FBG, as we will provide detailed information to enable our members to vote for the strategic alliance and unique CCI France UAE, or alternatively the status quo and the existing two organizations. Eric and Geoffroy will start first with a presentation of the projects, going into the details of our 5-year strategy, the strategic alliance agreement, the changes in our articles of association, and they will also reveal our new brand. Then Hélène and Agnès will take over and they will cover the benefits of the alliance for our members, our services, the future organization, and also the roadmap to get there. We will then allocate 20 minutes to answering your questions before concluding. So without further ado, let me hand over now to Eric and Geoffroy, please.
Thank you very much, Nathalie. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really delighted to be with you today to shed light with Eric and Nathalie, Agnès, and Hélène on this project that has been in the making for quite some time now, and that we are really thrilled and excited to see now finally happen. I would like to start by thanking a few people who have been very instrumental in making this alliance happen. Obviously, the board members and the team members who have been part of these 5 working groups. Nathalie, who, as she mentioned, drove this project all along the way. And obviously, Eric Cohu, for his friendly collaboration all along the way, which has been a real pleasure to work with you, Eric, and with all the board members of the FBG who have been involved in this project. I would like to particularly thank as well Jean-Michel Morinière, Maître Jean-Michel Morinière, who I think is attending this webinar today. Jean-Michel has been extremely involved, and I would say pro bono, as we say, to advise, review in a very careful manner and always a very inspired manner all the legal documents that will be the cornerstone of this project. I think now we can jump into the topic itself and on why this project is happening. And maybe some of you would even ask why this project hasn't materialized before. Why is it coming only now? And I think it may be a good question. As a matter of fact, you know that we are in a federal state, and that's the reason why there were two business council or business group, one for Dubai and the Northern Emirates, and one for Abu Dhabi. The objective of this alliance is really to be stronger. How are we going to be stronger? We'll be stronger because we'll have 1,000 members, thanks to this alliance, and maybe even moving forward, even more than this. It will give us a visibility among the business groups and business council in the Emirates. It will give us more visibility in the network of the CCI FE, at international scale. And it will increase as well our visibility, if I can say, for the French companies that wants to settle in the Emirates, as well as to our Emiratis partner, who sometimes wonder what is FBC, what is FBG, Business France, and so on. It's sometimes a bit complicated. And so thanks to this alliance, we are bringing more clarity and more simplicity in these Team France Export, as we call it. It will be also a way to be more effective and more efficient. We have identified a certain number of overlaps or things that we used to do in a scattered manner that we'll be able to consolidate, to streamline, and to do better. And obviously, it is a bit the sens de l'histoire, as we say, the way the Emirates as well are moving with the Jubilee in December 2021 and with the Expo 2020. And I think it makes a lot of sense to build on these landmark and these big events that are happening this year, and also to build on the French landmark in the UAE. We have, thanks to the Louvre in Abu Dhabi, the Sorbonne Abu Dhabi, also great landmark on which, as a business community, we can build. Obviously, the objective of this alliance is also to make your life as a member more simple. And Agnès and Hélène will go more in detail down the road in the presentation to explain how we intend to make your life more simple. Obviously, we will keep two offices because we know the importance of both Dubai and Abu Dhabi for our communities. The objective is not to centralize everything. It is to keep two communities very alive and to do even more than we used to do to keep those two communities extremely alive. And obviously, we will use a new brand, but I don't want to, I want to keep a bit of suspense because Eric will present at the end of his presentation, the new brand that we are going to use as a overarching, I would say, brand for the two entities. Because as you will see on the next slide, we will keep two entities by law, but also because we have a very strong relationship with the authorities in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi, the FBC with the Dubai Chamber, and the FBG with many entities, federal entities in particular in Abu Dhabi. We need also, and this is also a law and a legal requirement, we need to keep two entities. But the objective is really to create for the members a completely integrated, completely seamless, transparent, if I can say, experience whereby you will not basically see that there are two legal entities behind the front end. How to do so? We will have new articles of association, which is completely similar we will use exactly the same governance. If you, the members of both entities, you approve them on Wednesday, 23rd of June, or by then, because we have a General Assembly on that day. Following these new articles of association, we will have one single community. So any member of one chamber will be also member of the other chamber. And therefore, when we will elect a new board in November this year, it will be a unique board of the FBC and board of the FBG, completely identical. Obviously, we have a single management as well, and a common permanent team and management. And till 30th of June 2022, the head of the permanent team will be, as managing director, Agnès Lopez Cruz, will be in charge of the common general management of the new entity. Hélène Daniel will be the deputy managing director, particularly in charge of two very important things, the Abu Dhabi office and the new business development and growing. We know that we have a lot of things that we are not doing today or not doing enough. And she will be in charge of growing this part of the activity. And Milena Chemin will be in charge of the Dubai office as a deputy managing director too. On the next slide, I would like to shed light on the strategy. What strategy do we want to put in place after this alliance? Obviously, the strategy will be fine-tuned moving forward by the board that will be elected in November, but we thought it was important to give you as well some high-level direction on what we want to achieve together. The most important or overarching objective is really to build and actively engage the French business community in the UAE. What does it mean? It means that we want to be highly member-centric. We want to start from the members. We want to deliver an outstanding member journey and a community experience. It means that we need to know the French community extremely well in the UAE. We need to have a comprehensive knowledge and obviously an intimate understanding of the challenges, the objectives of each of our members. Second objective is to offer innovative, high value and segmented services. There are a lot of things that we can do today that we are not doing. Or content, producing more content, putting in place an advocacy drive are only two examples to name just a few. We want also to build business relationships with local authority and major national companies. FBG already has very strong relationship with ADNOC, for instance. FBC has strong relationship with RTA, for instance. We need to have more of these relationships, very, very in-depth relationship, whereby we can activate, push, and promote the French community in those Emirates national companies. Fourth, and Agnès will go a bit more in detail on the number 4 and number 5, so I want to remain quite high level here, but we want to be a hub for regional business development. Our members, be it in Abu Dhabi or in Dubai, are not only interested in what's happening in Dubai or in Abu Dhabi. They usually have a regional scope, and they expect from their Chamber of Commerce to be able to support them in these overall or more regional, I would say, business development. Then last but not least, we are part of a community of entities called the Team France Export. And we want to completely leverage this Team France Export to your benefit. And that's also what Agnès will explain to you a bit more down the road. And on this, I will leave the floor, if I can say, to Eric to give you more detail on how these new articles of association will work.
So next slide. Thank you very much, Geoffroy. And before I go to this slide, especially, I want to also tell you that I'm very happy to be with all of you through this webinar to present or to participate to the presentation of this key structuring project for both the FVG and the FVC. Geoffroy has very clearly explained it as usual, and I will continue. I just want also, before I start, to thank also all the members of the board who have highly contributed to this project. A lot of work has been done by the teams concerned during almost 2 years, and obviously I want also to thank particularly Geoffroy, with whom we have got an extremely close and friendly relationship. And I think it was most probably one of the guiding principle, I would say, of this reunification of the two existing chambers. So basically, coming to the article of association, obviously to set up the new unique entity, it starts by the amendment of our article of association for both the FVC and the FVG. Because this, as mentioned by Geoffroy, we will retain the legal entities of both the FVG and FVC. This is necessary on a regulatory aspect, but also, as explained, to maintain a strong proximity to vis-à-vis our members, both in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. But so the idea is to have a new article of association, which will be similar for both the FVC and the FVG. The main changes or the main highlights of this article of association, first, it will be the election of a common board, so of 15 directors, which will include at least a minimum of 3 directors who will be resident in Dubai and 3 directors resident of Abu Dhabi. The idea here again is to ensure that we have in the board people who are close to the both Emirates, Abu Dhabi and Dubai. There will be also an election of an executive committee of 7 officers that will be elected by the board through a secret ballot. The executive committee will meet upon request of the chairperson of the chamber, of the main unique chamber. But I would say that the common board will actually be the main organ of decision and of supervision of the new unique entity, knowing that the board will meet normally on a monthly basis. So most of the decision and most of the supervision will be ensured through the board. The executive committee will be there more to tackle any kind of urgent issues or specific aspects of the management of the chamber. There would be, in terms of quorum for all the assemblies and extraordinary general assemblies and general assemblies, we have fixed the quorum of 33% for the general assemblies and 51%, sorry, of the ordinary member for the EGAs, extraordinary general assemblies. I think this is in line with what we had already in the existing article of association or close to. One major change will happen with regard to what was in place at the level of the FVC is the fiscal year. We will harmonize, obviously, the fiscal year of the 2 FVC and FVG from the 1st January to the 31st of December. So the unique entity, unique chamber in future will have a fiscal year from the 1st of January to the end of December. Last but not the least, we will appoint a strategic advisory committee for 2 years. This will be appointed by the board, and I will mention more specifically about this in the next slide. Thank you. So basically, this strategic advisory council is expected to help us and to guide the new board of directors of the unique chamber in terms of orientation, in terms of strategy. So this strategic advisory committee, actually it's committee, it's not council, so that's why I made some confusion. Its strategic advisory committee will meet at least once a year, and as I said, will give guidance, will provide guidance with regard to the main strategic orientation of the unique chamber. So this strategic advisory committee will be composed of the Excellency, the French Ambassador of the UAE, also the head of the French Economic Department. There would be also the two honorary chairpersons of both the FBC and the FBG. There will be the chairperson of the unique chamber going forward, and the two vice chairpersons of the board of directors. There will be also present the managing director of the new entity, of the new common entity, and we will have 10 outside members. I would say we'll have 5 members from the new common entity. Normally, this name should not be appearing here because we will mention it later on. And these members will be appointed by the board for a term of 2 years. And last but not least, obviously, the idea is also to have in this strategic advisory committee 5 UAE nationals who will be appointed also by the board for the same tenure of 2 years. This is very important, and this is something that actually has come more from what we have today in place at the FBG within the board. We have in the board of the FBG several UAE nationals occupying quite a nice, quite high-level position in some government-related entities in Abu Dhabi, and we saw that it was very important for the new unique chamber to have a specific number of close friends, I would say, Emirati national position at high level in important companies, both in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, in order to help us, first of all, to create the right level of contact with these people who can help us in the management of our projects of the chamber, of the unique entity going forward, and also to have their point of view and their ideas in terms of what should be done at the level of the new entity. So that was for the strategic advisory committee, which will be a very important addition to what we had today, both at the FBG and the FBC. Can we go to the next slide? So basically, as of today, and before revealing without too much of suspense, the new brand that we are planning to put in place, we, as you all know, we are today both at the FBG and the FBC. We are members of the CCI France International Network, which is composed of 124 French chambers in 95 countries as of today. It is absolutely key for us and for the new common entity to remain strongly anchored to the CCI France International CCFI network, because we rely on their knowledge of what's happening in all the countries where the CCIs are present. We have a lot of cooperation with various CCI being present in the region and or for example in Africa, but also in Asia. So this is part of our also what we want to develop more enhance, I would say, relationship between the future common chamber in the UAE versus vis-a-vis the other chambers in the world, and so we thought that it was appropriate with regard to for the new brand to be chosen, to be strongly anchored to the main logo and the main names which are used today within this the CCFI international network. So basically, there were two possibilities. If you see on the slide, you have a lot of chambers who are called CCI France plus the name of the country, and there are also some other who are mentioned as French chamber and the name of the country. We could not actually use the name chamber in our brand because we had some kind of conflict, I would say, with regard to the Dubai Chamber, who is the sponsor of the FBC and who does not allow, I would say, Chamber of Commerce to be named precisely chamber, obviously not to misguide, I would say, people with regard to their own name, the Dubai Chamber. So I think we can go to the next slide and reveal now what would be the new commercial brand adopted by the new unique entity in the UAE. It will be CCI France UAE. So as I said, this will be very clearly in line with a lot of other international other chambers in the international CCFI network. It will be a logo which will be in a brand that will be consistent and immediately recognizable by either by the new entity, the new French expatriate, or the new French companies who would like to set up shop in the UAE. It will be also it's important because it's CCI France UAE. It's a commitment to the new territory as a whole, i.e. the UAE. It's not Dubai, it's not Abu Dhabi anymore, it's a UAE, and it's very important for all of us, I think, to portray and to diffuse this kind of holistic approach of the territory of the UAE. And of course, there is with the CCI a clear reference to the core name, the core function of the new entity, which will be a Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So I just want to mention as a final point that this will be the commercial brand. As we said already, both the FBC and the FBG will remain as legal entities, and therefore the names of the French Business Council and the French Business Group will remain as legal entities per se, again for regulatory purposes especially. But the idea of creating this new brand is really to have this new commercial brand as an umbrella of our activity of the new common entity in the UAE. So I think I am done with the part of my presentation, and I think I will pass on the floor to Agnès for the next step. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric. I hope everybody can hear me properly. Thank you and good afternoon, everyone. So before talking about the benefits for our members and how we will create a more efficient organization for the common good, I just would like to say as an introduction and on a more personal note that I've been working for the French Business Council for more than a decade, and I'm absolutely delighted to see finally this project turning into reality. So even if it's not the Oscar ceremony, it will be my turn to thank again the presidents. They've been amazing, and the board members of the two entities for their exceptional determination. And I also would like to recognize the great work and the positive attitude of my colleagues in Abu Dhabi and in Dubai, who have been working hand in hand for months to make this union a success. So let's come back to the benefits for our members. As already, thank you, Santina. As already mentioned, this project has been designed to benefit first and foremost to you, our members. So what does it mean exactly? More specifically, it means that as a member of the future CCI France UAE, you will benefit from existing and new services covering the entire federation. And for those who were members of FBC and FBG previously, you will not have to pay 2 different annual membership fees anymore. So I cannot see you behind your screen, but I'm pretty sure that some of you have a big smile on their face. So from a financial point of view, we are currently developing the future pricing, taking into account the extension of our new coverage, but also the necessity to maintain the right and fair price to our current and future members. We currently anticipate a moderate price increase for the renewal of an existing membership at the FBC or FBG, and as well a significant decrease in price for the member with a double membership. We're going to have a special situation for the FBC members. As Eric mentioned it, due to the harmonization of the fiscal year, we will ask exceptionally this year our member to pay a membership for 15 months, because the fiscal year for the French Business Council is currently from the 1st of October to the 30th of September. So to cover the last quarter of 2021, we will exceptionally ask you to renew your membership for 15 months, but it's only this specific year, and afterwards it will be as usual for 1 year. I talk about a complete and a seamless coverage, and it means also for our members to benefit from a dedicated point of contact in the team. It will be a dedicated point of contact according to their function, the company size, the activity sector. It's super important for us to create a personal relationship with all of you. We will as well have a better exposure through our communication tools, which will be mutualized. So the directory, the website, the social media, the newsletter, the database, and as well a wide range of services which will be extended. Hélène will give you more information about the activities coverage in a few moments. So as it has been already said, to achieve this goal of a complete coverage, and as mentioned, Santina, can you go back to the previous slide, please? Thank you. So to achieve this goal of a complete coverage, and as mentioned by Geoffroy, we will maintain our physical footprint by keeping 2 offices, one in Dubai, one in Abu Dhabi. It has been requested by our members, and it is super important as well to allow us to capitalize on our strong relationships with our members and to continue to develop our links with the local stakeholders, of course. Concerning the Northern Emirates, for the moment, the Dubai office of the future CCI France UAE will still be in charge of covering this perimeter, as it is already the case for the French Business Council. We are the French Business Council for Dubai and the Northern Emirates. We will continue, of course, to assess the potential of these 5 Emirates and strengthen our links with the local authorities. We have indeed several initiatives in the pipe. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, it is in a standby mode, but we really hope after on the last quarter to manage to concretize some of them. And if there is an interest for our business community to improve the footprint in the north of the Federation, I'm pretty sure that we will definitely consider the better way to do it within CCI France UAE. As a reminder, one of our main missions is also to help the French companies seeking to set up in the UAE and develop their business in the region. So CCI France UAE will be a more visible brand for them and easier to identify as a member of the International French Chamber of Commerce network. So our ambition is to become the local one-stop shop for them in coordination with Business France, which is the trade commission. The second benefit with a unique CCI France UAE is to have a unique French and Francophile business community to be stronger to defend the interests of our members. It is one of our strategic commitments for our community. And with this CCI France UAE, we will gather more than 600 companies in the UAE across a dozen of activity sectors. This will give us a unique position to provide a voice to our communities through advocacy initiatives such as bilateral forums. We already organize bilateral forums in Abu Dhabi with ADNOC, with ADGM, in Dubai with RTA, with DIWA. We will continue and increase this kind of initiatives. We will produce more white papers, surveys, high-level recommendations, high-level meetings with the local authorities for our functional and sectorial committees, and so on. So this is basically what we can provide with such a powerful, unique organization. And as already mentioned by Geoffroy, our ambition is also to become a more powerful counterpart for the Team France Export in the UAE. Include the Team France Export, it is basically all the public and private entities which have the mission to support the French export and the French companies in the country. You know that our DNA is very special. We are private, we're a non-profit association, we are neutral, we're apolitical, we are under the local law with local sponsors. So based on that, we have a very central position in this team and a key position in this team. So we have a role to play in the strategic bilateral relations, and we have the commitment to push the hot topics of our members. Last but not least, we would like to be a hub for the regional business development of our members. And we have also the ambition to be the regional coordinator of the CCI France International Network for the Middle East. We have already developed links with local stakeholders in different countries through business delegations in Iran, in Kurdistan, Kenya, Pakistan. And as an example, there is no French Chamber of Commerce in KSA right now, but we have ourselves very good connections, and there is, we planned already to organize in partnership with the Saudi Ministry of Investment, a prospective mission for our members in Q4 this year, hopefully if the sanitary conditions allow us to do so. So perhaps the next slide, Santina, and I leave the floor, I leave the mic to Hélène.
Thank you, Agnès. Thank you to all who joined this meeting. Thank you for your interest in this project, which may seem common sense. I also joined the team, the organization team of this project to say that, to my point of view, it should have been done before. And we're very proud that we've managed to do it. Just to add, that so basically Abu Dhabi and Dubai having quite different sectors and, let's say, economic environments. Adding both definitely makes sense. Members of the unique chamber will access all the events. Events will be organized in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. So depending on the sectors, Abu Dhabi and Dubai will have their leading sectors and committees. The members will be able to attend all the events organized in both Emirates, depending on their interests. So these, of course, you will be able as a member to access, to get quickly, to grow your network through the committees or through the events, or even through the directory that it's going also to be common. Agnes already discussed the visibility, but of course this is more simple, more visible. If you want to give more visibility to your actions, your business, your development, then you will be able to rely on our platform, and it will give you a much wider access than having to talk to Abu Dhabi and talk to Dubai and then do something with the Abu Dhabi social networks and another with a Dubai social network. Can we move to the next slide? So the organization we've chosen seems to us to be the best to add value to your business. And so you can see on the left that we will keep and add all the committees which already exist and are working well in for new development, new businesses. We may add some new ones. But currently we have 8 sectorial committees and 6 functional committees. So all these committees will be transversal from after the vote of the members, if this project is agreed by the members. Business support and back office will be also shared. So for you, that would be, as we just said, a big advantage as being a member. You will access everything in one tool. Social media directory will be also a lot easier for you than to have to get 2 different support, like communication support, administrative support. You will have one membership, will be easier. For the business consulting services, today we have in both Emirates the same services. So it includes the commercial supers, the B2B meetings, organization, the VIE, hosting and coaching, mentoring, recruitment. And so this also will be transversal, and one company who want to extend their business, its business will be able to have a mission organized at the same time in both Emirates, depending on the sectors they're interested in. New businesses and partnership. We're going to develop, as already mentioned, we're going to push things that already existed. It can be new technical topic like hydrogen. It can be new partnerships. It can be international development, as already mentioned by Agnes. It can be working on investors, following the strategic development of both Emirates regarding tech, organizing common conferences as well on new topics.
Thank
Agnes,
you,
if you
Hélène.
want to comment the org chart?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Hélène. Santina, please, next slide. Thank you. So this is a future organization. So I don't want to repeat all the things that Hélène already said. So as you can see, 1 team, 2 offices, 17 employees at your service, 13 in Dubai, 4 in Abu Dhabi. So our objective is to create a new and common team with the current permanent employees to capitalize on our existing talents and expertise. As we mentioned, Hélène will be in charge as well of the new businesses. I'm very enthusiastic by that because it is a key position in the organization. She will help us to identify, evaluate new businesses, greenfields, opportunities in line with the strategy and the values of the organization. And this is something, it was a lack in our previous organization in the 2 chambers. Milena is my loyal deputy in Dubai for a long time now, and she will continue to be in charge to develop the business consulting services. And as you can see in this slide, we will reinforce the concept of key account manager, the CAM, the key account manager across the organization. It is for us the best way to have a deep knowledge of our members, of their activity sectors, their needs, and at the end of the day, have a more personal relations with them to customize our services and be more proactive and efficient. The services plus, this is basically the business consulting services. And we already talked about the mutualization of the support functions. This is crucial for such an organization. We are self-funded, as you know, and this is important to improve our productivity and save our financial resources. The next slide.
So what's going to happen? The key, the next step, and it's a very important one, is that on 23rd of June, we both will hold general assemblies and extraordinary general assemblies to have the vote of the members regarding this project. So Agnès, I think maybe we'll explain a bit more, but 23rd of June 2021. So you, as members, you vote. I hope you will vote yes. So let's take it from there. So then there will be a sort of interim period because we need to have these new articles of association validated by some government entities in Dubai and some government entities in Abu Dhabi. So it will take a couple of weeks, and we've decided then to start the new branding CCI France UAE from the 1st of September 2021, and to organize the election of the new board in November 2021. So the new board will be elected by all the members. They will already be members of the unique chamber. In 1st of December, we plan to have the full introduction, all the articles of association validated, and the executive committee in place. And in January 2022, then we will start the new fiscal period, common one, again, 1 year from January to December. So during this interim period, we will try our best to organize also almost everything in common as much as we can. So on the operational side, it will give us a couple of months to adjust and to be fully ready when the official documents are signed.
Okay, next slide, Santina. Thank you. So to conclude, just an overview of the voting system. So we are using an online election system supplier, which is called Election Buddy, to tabulate your votes. Votes will be opened from tomorrow to Wednesday, 23rd of June at 7:30 p.m. Only the official representative of your company listed in our database will be able to vote, and they will receive an access key, which can only be used once. So the voting choice will remain, of course, anonymous. And so please keep an eye on your mailbox tomorrow, as you will receive either on behalf of the FBC or the FBG, a message from invitations@mail.electionbuddy.com. After voting, the voters will receive an electronic receipt. And to conclude, just the last important information for the members with a double membership who are members at the FBC and the FBG. They will receive 2 separate emails with 2 different access keys. So don't forget to vote twice. If you didn't receive your access key tomorrow, feel free to contact us. And please don't forget to vote. Your vote is crucial. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this very interesting presentation to all of our presenters. Let's now turn to the audience and answer some of the questions. only a very few number of questions posted so far. So you can use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to ask more questions, and please do so. I think we had a lot of very good information that was channeled through those presentations. I actually received a question separately, and I think it's a good question for Geoffroy. Maybe related to the strategy that you presented earlier, Geoffroy. Is there an opportunity for CCI France UAE to also become a French hub region? So I'm guessing that's for the GCC, for example.
Yeah, I think it's very important. It has been also a request of our members for a while, because as I mentioned briefly, and as Agnès as well mentioned, our members are not only interested in our capability to animate the community in Abu Dhabi or in Dubai. They are interested in the value that we can bring in terms of business development to help them grow their activity in Saudi Arabia, in Egypt, in East Africa, and so on and so forth. And that's also where a big bulk of the growth potential for many of our businesses is today. So yes, there is definitely an opportunity. And I think we couldn't have done it separately, because it would not make sense to go and see the other CCIFI or Chamber of Commerce, French Chamber of Commerce, if you want, in other countries, if we weren't able ourselves to put our duck in order and to talk to each other, which we are doing now, which we were doing over the last years, but we are going now to completely integrate. So yeah, there is a clear opportunity, there is a need, and that's probably it will not be that easy. It will need a lot of drive, and I think a lot of implication in the coming years. And it's probably one of the key strategic direction for the next board to be elected.
Thank you, very good. And I also have a question related to the timing of the project, yeah, because we're obviously going through a COVID-19 crisis, and things are a bit more difficult for companies and for businesses. So is this the best time to initiate such an important project? I don't know who would like to answer that question. I think Eric is signaling that.
Maybe, yeah. So I think, first of all, as it has been mentioned already by Geoffroy, by Hélène, by Agnès, we've been waiting actually to put in place this new project and this unique chamber in the UAE for many years. I think there has been a lot of interest and a lot of requests from our members, both from the FBG and the FBC, to reach this stage of creating a unique chamber in the UAE. So we actually started the project about more than 2 years ago, actually, almost 2 years ago, if I don't make a mistake, if I recall correctly. But unfortunately, because of the COVID last year, we had to interrupt the works that we had started to put in place, to develop with the teams, and we put all the works on hold for almost 6 to 7 months, and we resumed finally the works only in September, October of last year, and but with a renewed energy, I would say, and renewed motivation to reach the conclusion of this project. The idea was really to put in place this new chamber in 2021, knowing that on top of it, the Expo 2020 has been postponed due to the COVID issue to October 2021. So the idea is really to ensure that at the time of the Expo starting, that this new chamber, the new branding, commercial brand, be available, be known to everybody, and we will even use actually the occasion of the Expo 2020 to leverage and to make this new brand more known, if I can say. So I think, despite the COVID situation, which is, I must say, however, in a better situation that we had, the one we had experienced a year ago, for sure. Definitely, we believe it is a good time. It is a good time. It's most probably the best time, actually.
Very good. Excellent. And so many companies going through transformation right now. It's just amazing. So definitely the right time. I have another question that is more related to financials, I guess. And the question is the following. Do the team expect some opportunities in terms of synergy and optimization of cost and organization? Anybody would like to answer that question?
I think it's a financial question, so I can take it unless Eric prefers to take it.
No, I will leave it to you. It's always touchy, so I leave it to you.
I think it's, as you mentioned, the question of efficiency is particularly relevant in the context that we are going through today, where many companies are trying to improve their efficiency. And I think it's also something we need to take into account. We need also to make things, to put things in perspective, I would say. Altogether, our turnover, our financial turnover is slightly above 1 million euro. Our team is 17 people, but if you consider the FTE, it's 15 people, if I'm not mistaken. So the potential for savings is not the one that we could have in large company where you have mergers and you can save. And obviously, the purpose is not to reduce the workforce. On the contrary, we want to keep our talented teams, very committed teams, be it in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi. So obviously, the potential for saving is not extremely important. We have identified a certain number of things where we can probably release some time of the existing team, having 2 websites, having 2 LinkedIn accounts, producing content for both, having different social media, having 2 galas, having 2 membership recruitment campaign at different time in the year, having 2 galas and so on and so forth. It's obviously scattering the resources and not optimal. So by clubbing together these activities, by building on each other's strength, we will be more efficient. And the time we will save, we have no shareholders. We are not going to create profit. We are a non-profit organization. The time we'll save, and therefore the money we'll save, we'll reinvest it in doing, in creating value for our members. I think that's the purpose of a non-profit organization. It's not to make profit. So obviously, we will do things that we were not able to do alone. This regional coverage is one of those priority. Building more content is one thing. Building strategic analysis for our members is one thing. Strengthening our sectorial committees, which are not all of them where they should be, is where we are going to reallocate our resources. That would be my answer to this question.
Thank you very much, Geoffroy. And I think this concludes the session. So thank you all for your participation. Thank you to the audience. Interesting question and even more interesting answers, of course. Dear members, we're now counting on your vote. It is essential that we reach a quorum of 51% so that the vote can be validated. So the official representative of your company will be able to vote online from Wednesday 2nd of June to Wednesday 23rd June 2021. If you are an official representative, you will receive tomorrow an email from mail.electionbody.com with a unique access key to be used only once. You can only vote once. Do not hesitate to visit the French Business Council and the French Business Group website to learn more about the project. And please mark your calendar to vote. And in the meantime, have an excellent rest of the day. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have a nice day.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See you soon on the 23rd of June.
Exactly. Bye-bye.
Bye.